Everything we've done's led up to right now. Right now. Because legacy are full of legends. You can become a legend today, boys. Put your stamp on history. Put your stamp on a legacy. It is going to take all of us. Men, be not afraid. Do not be afraid to be a legend.
Welcome back to OPA Podcast, episode 16. My name is Jason. PJ, please let Casey O'Brien hold for an extra point. O.
My name is Larranz. We have wide receivers, Guider.
And I'm Griffin Tanner Morgan for Heisman Most.
Period.
And unfortunately, Wyatt is unavailable, probably reading. Oh.
Read, Wyatt, read.
So first things first, we're going to recap the Purdue game. So the Gophers won. Now they're 1-0 in the conference, beating Purdue 38-31.
We did indeed. And we broke a clavicle of Elijah Sindelar in the process.
You know, I sat there watching that game, and I was like, for the first half, I was like, is this Tracy Clay's Jerry Kill defense without the targeting? Because we were just hurting people. We were the Maryland to Purdue, as we were to Purdue as Maryland is to us.
Mind you, it was Tayon Devers who took down Elijah Sindelar, the same dude that decapitated Colorado State's quarterback 3 years ago.
Wait, was it the same dude?
Oh, it's the same dude. He took his helmet off in that one.
I forgot about him.
He's a senior.
Well, he disappeared for like 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
But he makes his presence known when he has the chance. It's like, I'm still here, Jeff. I'm still here. wait, yo, Griffin. He's like, I'm still here, and now your quarterback isn't. At least I have a capable backup.
Oh.
You know, I legitimately think to myself, this game, and you know, it took me a while because I was, both of you know, I was very much so steaming watching this game. But it also made me realize there was no way that this game would have been close if Elijah Sindelar was playing, because our defense was ready for him. I was like, that little kid who could run the ball? Mm-mm.
But what was nice to see is that you have all three non-conference games where you have either really periods of good defense or you had real sketchy drives of defense. And that was kind of the same story for this first game. So it's nice to know that we weren't just going to come into a Big Ten game and just get murked by a Purdue team that is very shifty and still very versatile and able to make explosive plays. That it was kind of the same story as the first three games, which has me a little more at ease.
Can inspiration
throughout the rest
turn
of the
what if
play, especially given our
into
schedule
what's next?
facing Illinois, Nebraska, Rutgers in the next three.
Hashtag Wyatt Oelkers.
Did you see that Yahoo tweet? Like, they said, would you possibly think about living in the world where the Gophers can go 8-0?
I saw a tweet that said Minnesota is the only team in football who can go 8-0 and they still won't be ranked.
Whoop.
If we hit 8-0, we're going to be ranked no matter what. They'll put us at the 25 mark. We'll lose after the bye week after that, and then we'll drop.
What if we win though?
FPS.
What if we win? What if Penn State is undefeated and Minnesota is undefeated and we get college football game day coming to Minneapolis?
It'll be a better matchup than the Huskers.
When your quarterback has a higher QBR, completion percentage, touchdown interception ratio than Nebraska, that makes me so happy.
Talking about our quarterback, want to talk about quick stats here before we move on?
Sure.
Oh, yes, please tell the world about the stats, because the sports media does not like to cover Minnesota.
So, quarterback Tanner Morgan had 21 of 22 pass attempts and completions for a 95.45% completion percentage for 396 yards, 18 yards average for 4 TDs.
18 yards averaging per throw. Look at God.
And then for rushing, Rodney Smith, 22 carries for 115 yards for 1 touchdown. Shannon made his debut. I would say he had to shake up some cobwebs, so 5 carries for 5 yards.
It's good we got Rodney.
Yep, and then Seth Green had 1 carry for 2 yards. And then, yeah. Now for receiving. Oh, my favorite. Rashad Bateman, 6 receptions, 177 yards, 29.5 yards average for 2 touchdowns. Next up, Chris Ottman-Bell, 3 receptions for 97 yards, 32.3 yards average, 1 touchdown, and he had the longest for 70 yards.
You know, my favorite catch wasn't any of Rashad or any of Tyler's or Chris's or even Rashad's touchdown catches. It was Rashad's freaking ungodly talent to just fight a ball and run with it for 5 yards while still pulling it down.
He said, let me get that yak real quick.
Let me show you some 4-star
yak.
Tifton, Georgia talent.
He said, yeah. No, this is going beyond 4-star stuff. What this is when you have a head coach who was a wide receiver, who was an NFL wide receiver, who's developed a first-round wide receiver out of a 2-star.
At Corey Davis.
How you doing, Tennessee Titans? Nice win. He also had a touchdown catch in this win. Anyway, and now he's at Minnesota, and shockingly enough, he has developed wide receivers. It's crazy, right?
Well, we still got more, man. Next
And
up, Tyler Johnson, 8 receptions for 73 yards, 9.1 average, but also scored a touchdown.
Also, a beautiful touchdown. I think Tanner saw that mismatch immediately because Tyler had like 8 inches on that dude and was like, I'm going to just throw it up. And he going to catch it because it ain't going to matter.
I'm going to be honest. Anytime I ever see Tyler Johnson like near the end zone and there's one dude on him, I'm like, oh, you really want to try this? Okay. I'm throwing it up. I'm just throwing it up and say, Tyler, go get it. He will.
And mind you, on that touchdown pass that he caught from Tanner, he kept both feet in bounds. Not just one, both. Like,
get that draft ready.
Yep. Then a couple more, actually. So Jake Paulson had 1 reception for 24 yards that converted a first down.
Bonehead tight end.
And then Rodney Smith had 1 reception for 20 yards, also getting the first down.
I'm waiting for the wheel route.
And then Demetrius Douglas had 2 receptions for only 5 yards, though, but it mattered when we had to convert.
Hey, they
And
saw the
no drops on the punt returns.
Mm-hmm.
All fair catches and just taking them as they come.
Correct.
Very beautiful. Very beautifully
And
done.
2 more key things. Linebacker Kamal Martin had 2 interceptions.
2! A linebacker. 2 interceptions. Woo! Jack Plum will never want to see that man again.
And then our boy, Jacob Herbers,
Period.
had 4 punts, but 2 ended up behind the 5-yard line on the 1 and 2 yard lines, respectively.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yep. And made, oh yeah, I forgot. So Jacob Herbers made Special Teams Player of the Week for the Big Ten, and Tanner made Co-Offensive Player of the Week for the Big Ten.
Who's the other one?
Sean Clifford at Penn State.
Yep.
Broke a Penn State record, so like,
Okay.
yeah.
That's fine. I just didn't know who.
Didn't they beat down Maryland like 59-0?
Yep.
Oh.
Remember when Maryland? We thought Maryland was good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Like, I hope I ate my words for the preseason because I said we were predicted to lose that game. But we'll see.
8-0. I
Yep.
just want it.
All right. All right. So those were the key stats for the Gophers. Anything else from the game?
I was loving the offensive line play a lot, actually. Very good in pass protection. Could have been a little bit better in the run. But we look at it where Tanner Morgan was double pumping. Like, he was faking. He had enough time to fake and then throw fairly accurate passes that, like, if he has the time, he'll make almost any pass any other quarterback would. And he didn't look very comfortable in the pocket, though, because I might have been Sam Schluter that he kind of backed into him and then Tanner just fell down.
That was on. He was supposed to throw that ball away. I have a theory. I have a legitimate theory because, once again, I was very upset about this game. Curious question to both of you.
Mm-hmm.
If after 6 minutes in the third quarter, we decided to throw at any point in the rest of the game outside of the one throw to Tyler Johnson, which was pass interference, how many points do you think we win by?
14 or 17.
And let's also assume that Seth Green doesn't get hit in the head with the ball on the onside kick. How many points do we win by?
At least 14.
I know.
How much?
31. Big
Okay,
boys.
we ain't doing that. But I literally was sitting there, and this was the most, like, annoying thing to me, and it's been annoying for a while, but I'm like, if your quarterback is on a hot streak like Tanner is, and it's very clear that in the first quarter, second quarter, and third quarter, they cannot guard your receivers. Like, whenever they would double team one or bracket one, the other one would go 40 yards. Why aren't we throwing the ball? I understand he wants to use clock, but against a freshman quarterback without Rondale Moore, I say throw 2 more touchdowns for Tanner Morgan, and then just, like, whatever they want to do, I don't care. Like, my theory is Kirk Shiraka saw that 95% completion percentage and was like, we done throwing. We done. We good.
I would rip him more if we lost, but we didn't. So I'm going to say that was a fine call. But I do wish there was some more passing because Purdue's defense was like the Chick-fil-A drive-through all day, both lanes open.
Wow.
Shade.
But I mean, let's also credit the receivers who can create separation and put on double moves. Rashad's double move left their DB spinning, and some offensive line play that was outstanding in pass protection. So everything fell into place for that game, and our receivers were able to make plays.
I mean, like, and I want to give Tanner credit for this, the amount of anticipation that he put on these balls, like, he literally saw Tyler Johnson and threw the ball before Tyler even got out of his break. He just threw it. And by the time Tyler turned around, pop. Like, it was beautiful. Beautiful. Those slants, beautiful.
He was making a lot better reads than the Georgia Southern game.
It's almost like Georgia Southern's a good team.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do want to mention, there was some rotation on the O-line, such as John Michael Schmitz was at center, while Connor Olson rotated with guard between Blaze and Curtis for them fresh packages. And
We enjoy that.
Well, it worked.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm kind of backtracking a little bit, but Larranz brought up that pass interference. I did not see the play very well, nor have I had a chance to go look back at it. Was it pass interference or was it a weak call?
I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so like it was by the letter of the law, it was pass interference, but literally watching it live, it just looked like they were both fighting for the ball. Frankly, and then, but I'm sitting there, I'm like, on the other hand, the ridiculous amount of holding calls that were not called in this game. I was screaming at my TV as a man was headlocking Carter Coughlin. Like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, what is this?
That was the exact point I was going to bring up. I was like, they let so many calls against Purdue just absolutely go. And I'm sitting there like, that's a makeup call for every holding call that you never called.
I'm like, this game was not supposed to be close, and I think a lot of times like people don't pay too much attention to like things that actually happened in the game. They just see the score. But I also think, and I want to hear what you two think about this. I said it briefly earlier. I was like, if Elijah Sindelar and Rondale Moore don't go down, which also completely unfortunate, especially for Rondale. That freaking sucks. But if they don't go down, we beat Purdue even worse. And the reason why I say this is because all of a sudden, everyone and like the broadcaster said it out loud, how like Elijah Sindelar's only job is to get the ball to Rondale Moore in as many ways as possible. Because of that, it was much like how teams figured out to bracket Tyler Johnson. The only difference is Purdue hadn't yet figured out who would destroy you if you took away Rondale Moore. So I think like by them taking away Rondale Moore, it kind of forced Purdue to deal with a whole bunch of ridiculously talented freshmen. Like David Bell, he gonna be a problem. He gonna be a problem for somebody very soon.
And then wasn't King
Doru?
Isn't he a freshman wide receiver who was moved to running back?
Nope, he's a running back. Jackson Anthrop was the... But King Doru, they just said, let's just put this kid in and see what happens. Hence our utter lack of tackling. But, okay.
Had like 94 yards rushing, I believe.
Oh, no, he had over 100. He had over 100.
A shifty dude, for sure.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he put Antoine Winfield on skates. I ain't gonna lie, I laughed.
How come our DBs can't tackle? Come on now.
No, like he put him on skates. Like Antoine didn't touch him.
Antoine missed one in the backfield though.
Yeah, but there was one where it was like a corner blitz, and Coney Durr hit him. It was either Coney Durr or it was Chris Williamson. I forget which one.
Coney Durr.
Coney Durr hit him, but he didn't wrap up. And so he just knocked him back 2 yards, to which he then did what we see Rodney or Muhammad do, and just run for 20 more. So, like...
I mean, another issue that we had is they were also doing the good old Tom Brady to Julian Edelman or James White dump off in the backfield and then getting 20 yards. And I'm like, Purdue is not stretching the field. They're too scared to stretch the field. Why are we not covering these people that just seem to break out into the flat and then find a way to get 10, 15, 20 yards? It's like, Uncle Joe, you gotta fix that.
And someone pointed this out. It was a Western Michigan fan pointed this out. They said PJ used to do this too. when he was at Western Michigan, where he would get a comfortable lead, and then he don't like being mean to people, and then he calls it all. And then I was like, but look at what we did to Wisconsin, and look at what we did to Purdue. But then I thought about it. We really were being nice at the end, considering that our last 14 points were scored by Bryce Williams.
Man, I thought the Wisconsin game, we just kept the throttle down.
And then I realized, wait a second. We were trying to be nice. Bryce Williams just wasn't having it.
So it's PJ's way of saying don't get too comfortable with your lead.
God, and I have another theory. My theory is we're keeping every game close. We're gonna keep winning, but we're gonna keep every game close so that people keep thinking we're bad, so that we don't get overhyped like Nebraska.
And then we slaughter every team in the last 4 games of the stretch.
No. We just slaughtered Penn State and put everyone on notice. Then we get wrecked by Iowa, because when we slaughter Penn State, we will be a top 10 team. And as such, Kinnick, top 10 team, we're going to die. Then we inexplicably lose to Northwestern, the game will be 9-3 Northwestern. They will have blocked 4 field goals in the game. We will lose. No, I lied. I lied. Sorry. It will be 9-0 because we haven't scored a single point at Ryan's Field, in 6 years now. So until we score a point against Northwestern on that field, I refuse to believe we can. And then we come home and we figure out whatever Northwestern did to kind of make Jonathan Taylor a non-factor. And then we do that. Because Jack Cohn, I was very afraid of him before this weekend, where I watched him play Northwestern, and I was like,
Northwestern, you figured it out somehow.
The Jack Cohn we saw last year against Wisconsin.
Oh, no, that was Alex Hornibrook.
Oh, that's Hornibrook, bro.
No, but Hornibrook was taken out, wasn't he?
No.
Nope.
I thought Cohn was in like the last quarter or something, because he threw 4 picks.
Nope. It was just Hornibrook. The reason being is because Jack Cohn had played his 4 games when Hornibrook was on concussion, and Paul Chris really didn't want to use up his red shirt. But then, after that game, it was so bad, he put him in against Miami and was like, screw your red shirt.
Mm-hmm.
But fun fact, watching Jack Cohn struggle against Northwestern, meanwhile, did you see what Alex Hornibrook did at Florida State?
What did he do?
He threw for 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and they won.
Oh.
And so that's fun. Also, I don't know. I just want to say, Griffin, you said you gave a lot of credit to the offensive line. Screw that. I'm giving a lot of Rodney Smith looked like the Rodney Smith that I expected. The way he would hit someone in the backfield and then bounce the other way. There was one play I remember where he hit someone, then backtracked backwards, dragging the dude with him, spun around, hit another dude, spun again, and hit the ground for a 20-yard gain. I'm like, oh, no. That's Rodney.
That's why I mentioned earlier that the run protection was not great, but the pass was. If you go back and watch all the offensive highlights, you cannot see Purdue really ever penetrating through our offensive line and getting to Tanner. Tanner had enough time to literally sit there, fake a couple times, and then deliver a dime to all 3 of our elite receivers.
Oh, he really wanted to. I bet then he really wanted to protect his completion percentage.
When you have receivers that can do that, it makes it easy.
No, I mean, because he was taking those sacks. He was like, I am not throwing this out of bounds. He refused. Oh, gosh. Anyway,
overall, besides the nitpicks that we have, overall, it was a mostly solid game for the Gophers, even though the score doesn't reflect that.
No, wait. Oh, I guess we had one turnover with the onside kick.
Yeah, I don't count it. That was a freak accident.
Oh, I did not see a replay of that yet. Was that just off his face mask and he didn't handle it?
It was literally hit his helmet and bounced directly into one of Purdue's players' hands. Like, he didn't even get a hand on it. It hit his head.
Well, credit to their kicker then.
Yep. So, moving on from Purdue, we're now 4-0, 1-0 in the Big Ten. And, hey, we finally won a Big Ten opener since 2013.
We actually, fun fact, we didn't win that Big Ten opener either.
Oh, true.
Also, fact, this is the first time in Gopher football history that it has started 4-0 a season with all 4 wins by a margin of 1 possession or less. The last time an FBF team did this was in 1985 Penn State team that finished 11-1.
Oh.
Ooh.
And that's fact.
I don't think. I mean, that's some good history. Anyway.
Yep. So moving on. So for week 6, we'll be against the University of Illinois Fighting Illini for homecoming this Saturday.
I can't wait.
I can't wait. I will be in the halftime performance festivities.
Hashtag ban.
Hashtag ban sucks.
Hashtag I will be standing on the sideline watching you.
Fantastic. Anyway, so yeah, as a native of Illinois, this game's going to be really interesting for me. Because we are reaching the part of the schedule that I like to call, holy crap, we need recruits. Because here's the thing, and fun fact, so the number 1 recruit in Minnesota, along with a few other highly ranked 4-stars, went to the Nebraska game to watch them play Ohio State, with the assumption being that they would at least make it a close game so they would have a reason to stay there. A lot of people thought that Caden Johnson was going to sign with Nebraska that day. And then they got a lobotomy from Ohio State, and he didn't. So this is where we need to really start making our money. These 7-point, way closer than they need to be games were really cute. And now I need the Gophers to start chopping heads off, starting with my beloved Illini.
And we are not going to be... I mean, there's no way that Reggie Corbin will let you win by 7 points if our DBs can't tackle him. He's going to run straight through our defense.
Reggie Corbin.
I'm scared of that man. I
Yeah.
really am.
I think a lot of people are afraid of him. Penn State had the number 10 rushing defense last year, and he ran for 187 on them. So, and the thing is, it's not just him. It's not just him. There's something about Illinois running backs where they don't have a dude that's going to ground you for 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards. Nope, they don't have that. They have dudes that are either going to go for a negative gain or 60 yards and nothing in between. That's Illinois. If they get a crease, they're hitting their head on the goalpost. That's about it.
So I forgot to mention the spread favors the Gophers, negative 14.5 from Vegas.
Too big.
And the over-under is currently 55.5.
Ooh. Oh, we said that at the same time. Jinx, you owe me a soda. Anyway,
Well, yeah, what you want?
give me a Sprite. Thank you.
That McDonald's Sprite?
Yes, give me a large $1 McDonald's Sprite. Yes.
That
Oh, I
hits different.
forgot to mention, we still taking shots for every INT Tanner throws.
Yes, but currently at a 10-2 ratio. I will take that any day of the week, of the year, if he continues this at the same rate for the next, what's this? We have 12 games in schedule. We play for 13, 8 games in the regular season, and we end up with a 30-6 touchdown interception ratio. Tanner Morgan might get a statue. He might get a statue. It might happen.
He might get a statue because we're not appreciating him for what he's doing so far. Even myself, I looked at him at the beginning of the season. Yeah, look at the beginning of even in the last season, I'm like, sure, he may be like 5-2 as our starter or something like that, but he's no more than the game manager. I kind of looked at him kind of like Keenum. And then,
I mean, and the thing is that bad?
And he's putting up these ridiculous, efficient numbers, and I'm like, holy cow.
You know who's the best
PJ's
game
making
manager?
Star.
You know who's the best game manager in college football is?
Who that?
Jake Fromm at Georgia.
Jake from State Farm?
Jake from State Farm. This dude is a glorified game manager who makes plays when they matter. That is the reason why Tanner Morgan's QBR is so ridiculously high. The highest in the Big Ten, the second highest completion percentage in the Big Ten. Like, his yards per attempt, I believe, is second highest in the Big Ten, so he's not just dinking and dunking like one Dak Prescott.
Oh. Dude
is slinging that thing downfield. So I'm like, I think Gopher fans need to look at Tanner Morgan and just be like, how many of these games do we win if Mitch Leidner is the quarterback?
Oh, don't mention that name. Oh.
I think if Mitch Leidner ever in any game ever had like a 65% completion percentage, my brain would have exploded. Would have exploded. Tanner Morgan is currently rocking like a 73% completion percentage on the year. Never had less than 50%. Dude.
69 of 94.
69.
Nice.
On a run-first team. Look at God. Anyway.
So, what are some concerns that you guys probably have about Illinois? Like, I know Griff mentioned this guy, Reggie Corbin, running back. He scares me also. And they also have a quarterback transferred from Michigan named Brandon Peters. What do you know about him, Larranz?
Brandon Peters was one of the highest-ranked quarterback recruits in Michigan history before Shea Patterson, an Elite 8 dude. Outside of Justin Fields, per 24/7, he is the highest-rated dude in the Big Ten in regards to quarterback. He has impressive vision down the field and arm strength. The thing is, if you put any pressure on him, he will crumble like one Mitch Trubisky.
Woof.
So we need that Joe Rossi blitz and packages with the D-line?
I mean, you would think that, but then he'll just hand it off to Reggie Corbin, and Reggie Corbin will go 70 yards. And that's the thing. So, like, Nebraska had to deal with that, and he ran for 100-something on them. The other issue I definitely have is Illinois is coming off of a bye week, and PJ Fleck has a tendency to go to Illinois and steal people. And so, obviously, Lovie Smith and his beard think that the best win that they could possibly get in the Big Ten right now is beating us. So they will be ready. They are coming. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm more nervous about this game than conventional wisdom says I shouldn't be. But based off of the way we've played this year, I'm terrified. So that's me.
So then, what are the keys to the game then?
95% completion percentage.
I'll take it.
If Tanner Morgan ever puts up these numbers again this season, if he ever puts up 95% completion percentage with close to 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, I will legally change my name to Tanner Morgan.
You think Rutgers is our next best shot, or is that our next loss?
I think what happens is we beat Illinois, we beat Nebraska, and then we lose to Rutgers.
Rip.
Because of course. But there is another man that we need to be very terrified of. That no one is. No. On Illinois' team that no one is talking about. Does the name Uluwole Betiku Jr. Do you know who that is?
No.
He's nobody.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, yes. He is a nobody. He is a defensive lineman at Illinois who currently on the season has 7 sacks.
Oh, frick.
And remember, they just came off of a bye week, so they weren't even playing. He has 7 sacks in 3 weeks.
4.
Yeah, 3 games.
Yeah.
That's that's not great. Oh, I'm sorry, no, 4 games. Because they did lose Eastern Michigan.
Larranz, you remember last week when you were talking about a 4 or 5-star recruit on Purdue's defensive line?
Yeah, he smacked Tanner Morgan.
But
of course, it was because Tanner Morgan held the ball too long because he didn't want to ruin his completion percentage, but still.
But other than that, he wasn't really ever a presence. Not worried.
This dude, he is second in the Big Ten, man. He is second in the Big Ten.
Wasn't worried last week. I'm not worried this week.
Like, George Karlaftis is 9th in the Big Ten.
So, with your key to the game is the offensive line and blockers protect Tanner from this dude.
I mean, that's a key to a game every week, but this particular week, this week is all about the offensive line for me because Illinois has a defensive line that should be there for the destroying. But my issue really is that their offensive line is experienced. Their offensive line is going to make sure they can score points. And so my key to the game is this defensive line needs to get its crap together yesterday. Because this isn't Purdue. They are going to run right at you. And they can. So, yeah. But that's my key to the game. And I'm going to change Kirk Shiraka's name to Lane Kiffin this weekend. Because I'm going to need him to throw the ball. Throw the ball, Kiffin.
And get them yak receivers.
Get them yak because their secondary looks, to put it nicely, Purdue is better. Purdue has a better secondary. So yeah.
Okay, so far, what I gather from the keys of the game, Tanner being his Purdue form in some way or form, not Georgia Southern, right?
Don't make those reads, bud.
Yep, and then O-line, particular importance to that Illinois D-line, shred that secondary because that's their glaring weakness. Receivers and running backs, all of our playmakers do what they do, and then we'll win. Then hopefully we win this game. Am I right?
We will.
All right. Any hot takes? Oh wait, no. Wait, predictions. I forgot. What's the score and if you win or not? Go.
34-24 Minnesota Golden Gophers.
The Gophers. I see this being a shootout, so I'm gonna go 40-27 Minnesota Golden wide receivers.
I'm gonna say 38-31 Golden Gophers on top.
Now, I think I should. I think we should put this caveat every week with this particular Minnesota team. Are your scores reflective of how close the game actually is, or how close we let the game get?
Boy, they're the cardiac kids. I gotta live like this now.
What about you, Griff?
I think it's how close we play the games.
I also think it's just that close. So,
All right. So we're not even gonna go cover the spread.
nope.
All right. So any hot takes before we end this?
I'm gonna stay quiet on the hot takes this week.
Don't stay quiet. Come on, Griffin. Come on.
Next week.
Right. Don't. Okay.
Larranz, you're not ready for it.
So I'm gonna say
Is there a hot
this.
take saying that we're gonna lose to Nebraska?
No.
Oh. Wait, what's your hot take? Come on, Griffin.
Say it.
Say it. Griffin. Do it.
Oh, I forgot. One of my hot takes last week, I said Cal would lose to Arizona State, and it did.
The Pac-12 is such a freaking mess. I have two hot takes. Hot take number one, Iowa's about to get smashed by Michigan. Hot take number one, because Iowa thinks that they're Wisconsin. They aren't. Let's see. Hot take number two. I said before the year that Purdue was probably the most important game of the year because it completely determines what this team is. And now I say Nebraska is the most important game of the year ahead of Illinois, because if we if we just punch Nebraska in the uvula just a little bit, there are about 3-4 stars that we're gonna get.
Stay home. Stay at Minnesota, boys.
Because they have been, I believe now for the last 2 or 3 years, Nebraska has taken the first or second best player in Minnesota.
Oh.
That's including their 6'8" offensive lineman, Bryce Barnhart, who I'm like, come on. So, yeah, we need to blow their doors off, and the first step is blowing Illinois' doors off. But, of course, we won't. So, there's that. Griffin.
Your hot take. Come on. Bring it out. He ain't gonna say anything, is he?
I don't even know if he's still on the phone. He might be gone. Well, anyway. Well, that's it.
Well, this ends this episode of OPA Podcast. So thank you for listening in on the recap of Purdue and to preview the homecoming game versus the Illini. So we see you guys this Saturday at the Illini game. Again, I'm one of your hosts, Jason O.
It's Larranz Griffin. What's your hot take, Guider?
Jeff Fromm's getting fired at the end of the season.
You're what? Whoa!
And-
Whoa! Wait,
And
no,
we'll see
no,
you guys
no.
See you next
time.